Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So in this video what I'd like to do is show you how I'm going to make a snippet strip for my spine of this journal. Now in case you've not come across a snippet strip before, I have a couple of examples to show you, and this was really how the idea came about. So a snippet strip is basically just a strip of fabric that you then glue all of your fabric scraps onto. And some people go extra details with like buttons and charms and different things, but the base of it is to use up your fabric scraps. And I saw these in my stash and I started placing them along the spine like so. These are obviously just pieces that I've cut from a bigger one at some point. And I was like, I know people have done this before, but I haven't, and I thought this would be a really, really beautiful detail along the spine. And I would have happily used these because, you know, they're ready to go. But unfortunately, they're not wide enough for this width of spine because I would like them to be the full width of the spine, but then plus a little bit extra so that it can hang over and cover up this part and also be, you know, fully glued down. It's not going to pop up or anything. So I decided I'm going to need to make more and this one is specifically for the spine, as I say. So I'll just show you what I've done. I've just got a strip of fabric which was a scrap, just a big one, and I've made it so that if I open this up I'll be able to show you properly. The width that I've done is the full width of the spine, and then as you can see it hangs over by an extra centimetre on each side, so we're like this instead of this, and this will be a really good base for me to go for. Now I do realise that I need to cut it down a little bit, so I'm just going to cut down there. Lovely, doesn't have to be particularly tidy because we'll tidy all of it up later, but now I've got an extra scrap that I can include in the snippet strip. Okay, so I've done that. And then what I've done as well is I've got out some fabrics and things, some sort of like medium squares. I've got a long bit there which I want to do something specific with. I've got some long lengths of various different laces which may be used, and then I've also just got out a few scraps that were in my jar, so I'm going to go ahead with those. So I know for a fact that I would like this really pretty fabric to go down one side, and the reason is because I want this to be part of my cover decoration. So when it comes over the cover, you'll be able to see this really pretty edge down there. I thought that would be lovely. So I think that's probably the first thing that I'm going to do. Now I am going to be sewing my snippet strip, just up and down with the sewing machine, nothing fancy. But I will, you know, because I'm doing it on video as well, I will just do a little bit of gluing in places just to keep my fabrics in place. So there's another strip I can use. But other than that piece, I don't really have, you know, any rhyme or reason as to what I'm doing. I just want to, all I know is I want to cover up this full piece, and I would like to start with the pieces, scraps, first. So I'm going to start with the medium-sized ones, and I'm just going to start willy-nilly, my favourite word, just popping them down. As I said, I'm not using tons of glue because I don't want the glue to show through, but because I'm doing this on video I do need to use some glue, otherwise it'll be all over the place. And it's a case of just popping in your fabrics. Now if you're not going to sew them, obviously you could just glue it as you see me doing now, but if you're doing that you will want to use better gluing, I suppose. You want to be a bit more purposeful about it, I suppose is the right word. And I don't want to stay too boxy within this strip of fabric that I've got. You know, I don't want it to be a perfect rectangle, so some of the pieces I might you know, overlap and have a bit higgledy, but for now my main purpose is just to get the back piece covered. And I will do all of this on video. It will be just a video just for doing this, but it might be useful for you to see, honestly, how like haphazard I am about it. I'm just going to cut that one down a little bit. The only thing I'm keeping in mind is I want this fluty edge here, so I don't want anything to take away from that. Other than that, as far as I'm concerned, anything goes. And all I'm doing is just making sure that all my pieces are covered and I'm happy with how they look. So it is just a case of just going a bit like a collage, I suppose. You just go until, you know, you're happy with how everything's looking. And yeah, that's all you need to think about, really. It's just, you know, once you've finished putting all the trims down and everything, are you happy with what you're seeing? And obviously this scrappy look is not going to be for everybody, I appreciate that. But for those of you who are, you know, who like the scrappy look, then this might be a fun thing for you to try if you've not done it before. As I said, I have made snippet strips, but I've never made one, you know, specifically for the spine of a journal before. I know some people have. Just thinking I would like something there so that looks a little bit more purposeful. So let's go with this one. Hopefully I've got you all in. I appreciate that I don't know if you can see down the bottom here. Hopefully you can. But the main purpose for me today was just to show you, you know, sometimes you see the end result and you think, oh, a lot of thought went into the placement of things. But for something like this, honestly, not needed. Not needed at all. And we can always add, you know, extra details to it. So if I decide that I want to add, you know, buttons or charms or something, then I can. And I may very well. I'll just sort of see what I think when I'm done. And it really doesn't take very long. I do plan on doing a couple of these because I would like another one of my journals to have this. Now part of me is wondering whether to put this brown bit in because we are winter woods, so I do think I want just a hint of brown. Not all white, just a hint. So I'll do that. Down to the little scrappy bits now, but I just want a bit for there. And I'm wondering what I could use. Got a piece of this, so let's see if I can get this in. And then I have got, whoops daisy, that went a little bit gloopy, didn't it? Let me just smudge that with my finger. There we go. I have got, I'm just going to take those fringe bits off as well. I'm not a huge fan of the fringe. I have also got some silver trim, which I might very well add in. Like that. And one last bit for up there. I think I want to stay with white, really. Oops. Just trying to use the small bits first, really. I could use a piece of this, maybe. Let's use a piece of this. And go like that, I think, because that's got a nice flower on it. I think it goes this way. Just put the glue on this part. Gloopy glue, the usual story. That's that. Okay, so now I'm just looking for how that looks. Obviously, parts of it will be, you know, bent over and stuff when it comes to, I'm just going to put that little piece on, may as well. So you might find that it's trial and error, but really I sort of say especially with neutral trims and things, it's going to be very hard for you to not like what you've done, I suppose, is the the simple answer is, especially, you know, all of these neutral trims together, you can't really go wrong. You know, if you start adding in colours, that's when you might need to start thinking about what goes next to what, but certainly for neutral fabrics. Okay, just going to pop that one under there like so. Just sort of looking to see if there's anything else I want to add. I've gone a little bit too neat with that, I think, so I think I'll just move this one over. That's it. Have it more scrap-like. And then I'm just wondering, I could just pop that one in, and then that will get that used up as well. Okay. Sticking to me rather than the fabric. There we go. Oh gosh. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, and I'm just looking anywhere else, like for example this bit, I don't like this curled up a little bit there. So is there something I can put down? Maybe another bit of this. Just put that in there if I can, or just pop it on here. If you don't want to use glue, you could just pin the fabrics onto the material that you've got and then take it to your sewing machine. You could even hand stitch it. You know, please don't feel that you have to use a sewing machine if you don't want to. Let's make that a bit smaller actually. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that for now. I don't want to overload it with too much stuff, but I'm pretty happy with that. The only other thing I just want to check is whether I do want any of this silver trim on it. I could have potentially had some, but I don't think it's right to add it now, so I won't bother with that. Next thing I want to try is, I've got some eyelash trim. Do I want to have any of that on this? Could potentially have it down there for sort of a snowy-esque effect. Yes, I think so. So I'm just going to hold that there because I will sew it on, but I don't want to get myself in a gloopy mess with the glue. So I think I'm going to hold it there, and then when I take my whole piece to the sewing machine, I can just make sure that I run the stitch across it like that, and then that will be down there. So I think that will look good eventually. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was I have got some little neutral bows and things. So it could be that I add some stuff. Now obviously I have to remember that this is a spine, so I don't want it to be too bulky. You know, I want people to be able to open up the journal without any problems. But I may very well add some of these flat trims, little flowers and things, because they're kind of like snowflakes. And obviously that will be something that I will add afterwards. I very well, you know, might decide to hand stitch them on. So that will be 3. And then I'm just sort of looking to see how I feel about it and whether there's anything else I would want to add trims wise. I like to be sure before I, you know, sew anything down. So I'm just standing up because sometimes it's helpful to see things from above. And I thought I might just put a piece in the middle there, so that's a little bit more deliberate that I've got that brown piece in the middle, you see. And then I'm thinking possibly something like that. I can always make some adjustments later. So I'm going to take a photo of how it all looks so that I know where I want these pieces, because I'm probably going to hand stitch them after I've machine stitched the whole snippet strip, because I may very well add little pearls or something on the inside of each flower so that it looks really decorative then. So my next steps then, take a photo of this whole thing so I know what it looks like, take off the little flowers, and then I will sew all the way down the snippet strip. So if I use this one as an example, you can see here all I did was just 2 straight lines going down, and that is usually enough. You may have little bits that you might want to like glue, or when it comes to hand sewing on little gems and buttons and things, then that's where you can catch, you know, bits like this. But usually a couple of lines of straight stitch, same with that one as you can see, is usually enough, and I think it looks just fine like that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so this is how my snippet strip is looking with the machine stitching that I've done. And I am also just currently, as you can see, sewing on the little flowers with some simple beads. And I thought I would just come on and do the last one, just so you can see what I'm doing. But really it's very simple. All I'm doing is placing the flower where I want it, coming up right the way through the back of the snippet strip. Hopefully I've zoomed in enough for the camera. And I'm just placing the bead onto that needle in the middle of the flower. Appreciate it's a little bit difficult to show you something that's so intricate, but I'll do my best. So just thread the bead on. Okay, and then I'm just going to hold that bead and flower there and just pull up the thread, leaving a tail at the back just so that I don't lose anything. And then I'm just going to go back through the flower, back through the snippet strip, and just keep doing that a few times. So just up through the back, up through the bead, and I probably am doing that about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. It's just so that it makes sure, you know, it's definitely down, it's not going to just pop off on us. And yeah, I just thought this would add just a little bit of extra detail to it. I think it's going to look really pretty once it's on the journal. And there we go. So I've just done that a few times, and now I can thread my needle back through the back of the fabric, and I'm just going to do that a few times as well. And this would be the same if you were attaching buttons, maybe if you were hand sewing charms on instead of beads. You know, some pretty charms would be nice too. Okay, so just pop that out of the way and just trim those threads down. I'm just going to close my pin lid before I knock everything flying. And then essentially you can look at how your snippet strip is looking. So, you know, if there's little bits like this that want gluing down, you can do that now. Or you can wait until you've got it onto the spine. So if I just bring this in, hopefully I'm not too close now. But essentially when I'm ready, I'm going to be gluing this whole piece onto the spine, and then I'll be able to go in with intricate gluing, and I may even very well sew parts of this onto the cover. I haven't fully decided yet, but I will at least be, you know, putting oodles and oodles of glue, and then essentially once we're done with that, that will be that's what you're going to see when it's on the shelf. So all of those little flowers down the spine, and then on the back we've got that higgledy edge, which I think is going to look really fancy, really fun and fancy. And then this side is going to have the more fluty edge to go with everything that I want to do on the cover. So I hope that's given you some inspiration for how you may want to make a snippet strip for your spine. As I mentioned, it's just a way to get texture on, and even if the cover is relatively simple, if you're just using, you know, paper or cardstock or something, all these extra details that we're doing with the spine just adds a really special touch to it. It makes it really unique then, because you're not going to put down the fabric scraps in the same way as somebody else. You'll have little embellishment pieces you're stitching on that are going to be different from somebody else. So it's a really nice way to make a journal unique, I think. Here we are then. This is my snippet roll on my cover. So I just really glued it with fabric glue underneath, so it's all down really well. And then I did sew just these edges. So I sewed down here with a straight stitch, and I sewed across here as well, and then just glued all the little bits down and anything else that was sticking up. And the reason I sewed it was just because I wanted to make sure that everything was down really well. Now, the only thing that I will say with this type of a spine, obviously it adds a lot of sturdiness to the spine, which is good, especially as this was once a mince pie box. But you may find that it starts to like not want to close properly. So if you find that, what I do is I just push down like so, and I'm essentially just I don't know what the word is, but I'm essentially just pushing down on that spine to make sure that everything's got enough flex. And then I'm going to do the same on the back, like so. Try not to squish my flowers. And then what you should find, it starts to close a lot better, because now it's used to sitting that way, which is good, which is what we want. You know, we don't want it kicking up like this and giving us gator mouth syndrome. So I really hope that you like how that looks on there. I absolutely love it. It's a shame that I can't show you, you know, how it would look on a shelf. It looks really beautiful sitting like that. So next, obviously I need to decorate the cover and get everything else sorted, but I just wanted to show you how that's looking. So I hope you enjoyed watching. But just before you go, I also wanted to mention something else that you may find inspiring. I would like to invite you to join the Mahalo Clubhouse. Now, if you've never heard about this before, it's hosted by me, and it's a friendly online community and a monthly membership for crafters who want to feel inspired, motivated and supported year round. I have recently revamped it completely for 2025, so it's got a brand new look, brand new benefits and lots of good stuff to inspire you. So, as a member of the Mahalo Clubhouse, there's lots that you can look forward to every single month, such as brand new digital papers designed by me to help inspire you. You can also get inspiration from my upcoming projects and videos without ads distracting you or getting in the way of you learning. You also get early access to my videos, so you see them before they go up on YouTube. You'll be able to have your questions answered fully whenever you have them via live video calls that we do every month, and also we have a Facebook group. The live video calls are recorded, so even if you can't attend live, there are recordings and replays that you can watch in your own time. And also you have the option to submit questions and conversation topics ahead of time, so even if you're not there, you can still benefit from the live calls. But also there is already lots of good stuff to look forward to inside the Clubhouse, lots of bonuses including discounts to spend in my business, and also some bonus projects and videos that currently are not shared anywhere else. So there's lots to dive into. Even if you join today, there's lots to look forward to, lots to go through already, plus all of the monthly stuff, the new stuff that comes in every month. Really, my goal for anyone joining the Mahalo Clubhouse is to be inspired to try new things, but to feel fully supported and confident when you do. Really, that's the goal for all of my content, whether it's a blog post, a YouTube video, or the stuff I share in the membership. It's always with the goal that I want you to feel inspired, and I want to give, advice and ideas, inspiration and tutorials that will help you feel confident to try these new things. But if you do want more, if you want more me time, more inspiration, those digital papers every month, the live video calls and everything else that comes with the membership, then I do hope that you will consider checking out my webpage. You can go to houseofmahalo.com/clubhouse. or I will leave a link down to it below for you so you can check that out. So I hope to see some of you in the Clubhouse, but even if you decide that it's not right for you, I still hope that you get some ideas and inspiration from my videos. And I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. Thanks so much then. Bye-bye for now.